Chapter 8. The Festivals in the Home. The holiday marked by the elaborate ceremonial institutions in the home is Passover. Preparations are made for putting the home into festive attire long before the arrival of the sacred season. For weeks, sometimes housewives are busy removing the leaven out of various apartments of their dwellings. When the house has been thoroughly cleansed, the head of the family will, on the eve of the day preceding Passover, make a search in his house for leaven, gathering up everything of this kind and blessing God for having enjoined this custom as a religious duty. He then states that all the leaven which has escaped his notice shall not be accounted as such, but as the dust of the earth. About 10 o'clock on the following day, all the leaven gathered is burnt. During the afternoon, the table is set for the setter, the order, and setter's in the word of my prayer book. I don't remember what's service, which takes place. I don't remember the full name of the thing. Am Tahlim Ashkenaz or Ashkenaz Am Tahlim. But setter is part of the first name, but which takes place upon the return of the male members of the family from the public devotion in the synagogue. The Seder is held in memory of Israel's exode from Egypt. The table is as follows. At the place immediately in front of the seat of him who is to conduct the service, a dish is placed, on which are put 3 unleavened cakes, matzoth, each one of which is covered separately. On the top of them are put a roasted egg, a roasted shank bone, the charoseth, a mixture of scraped apples, almonds, and wine, maror, bitter herbs, parsley, and salt water. That which is used first is, of course, placed nearest to the leader of the service. Every one of these articles is emblematic of some special historical idea. The bitter herbs, usually consisting of horseradish, stand on account of their pungent taste for the hard work of the Israelites in Egypt. And if you mix it with mustard greens, you get imitation wasabi. Of course, there's better imitation wasabi if you throw in watercress with it, but real wasabi is expensive. Anyways, for the hard work of the Israelites in Egypt, the charoseth, on account of its brown color, is representative of the clay out of which the Israelites make bricks. The shank bone is the memorial of the Paschal lamb, and the use of the egg, a ceremonial object only a couple of centuries old and borrowed from Christians, is symbolical of the sacrifice on each day of the festival when the temple was in existence. And remember that some households could only eat meat like once a year. I mean, they couldn't really afford to do it regularly or something. So, for some households, this was century-old, borrowed from the Christians, is symbolical of the sacrifice on each day of the festival when the temple was in existence. Actually, it could be borrowing from the Christians. Not the Christians, the Persians. Okay, something with it. Or even the Hindus. During the service, every participant drinks 4 cups of wine, especially prepared for Passover. These 4 cups correspond to the 4 expressions of redemption used in the Bible. In connection with the story of Israelites' liberation, the 4 expressions are Chutzati, I have brought forth; Baalti, I have redeemed; Hatzleti, I have delivered; Lakchati, I've taken. From Exodus 6 through 7. In the great majority of families, the wine for this occasion is made of raisins. During the reading of the service, the participants are to recline, expressive of the comparative freedom and ease Jews enjoyed since their ancestors' slavery. The Passover is a family reunion and often brings together the members of the same family living great distances apart. Well, it's not in the season that you can, get fresh grapes. Well, I mean, nowadays, but The dish containing the necessary articles is usually one designed for Seder purposes. It is made either of earthenware or metal and richly decorated. The cups of wine are silver. Provided the means for the family will allow for the purchase of such, it should be stated here that these utensils, as well as others used during the Passover week, are never used at any other time of the year. When Passover has passed, the utensils are carefully stored away in order to keep them from all contact with either anything leavened or with the dishes used for leavened food. And a Kiddush cup is shorter. I mean, it doesn't have to be shorter, but that's the one depicted. And the goblet is a Passover Kiddush. The Seder service proceeds in the following order. The sanctification of the day by Kiddush, the washing of the hands, the eating of the parsley, the breaking of the middle cake in the dish, a part of which is called afikomen, distributed by some among the family after a meal, and by others kept until the following year and burnt with the leaven on the eve of the subsequent Passover. Here follows an invitation to all who are needy to come and participate in the service. The stories of Israel's slavery, its exode from Egypt, and its development as a nation are told. Interspersed with these narratives are comments by the rabbis of the early Christian centuries and songs of praise to God. Then follow in order here given: the eating of the bitter herb, the serving of the evening meal, grace, psalms, songs, and special prayers. The next festival is observed in the home by special ceremonial is the New Year. The ceremonial custom, then, is nothing more than the exchange of the compliments of the season. On this occasion, relatives and friends visit one another and meet with the greeting, Shana Tova, a happy new year, to which the person addressed responds, Gum at or Gum ata, literally also you, meaning the same to you. If people find it impossible to see one another in person on this day, they exchange cards expressing their good wishes with the inscription, Lushna, Thuba, Tuktub. May you be inscribed for a good year. With the phrase, in the book of life, understood, these cards differ both in design and elaborations. In some communities, it is customary to eat honey with bread on the eve of the new year, expressive of the wish that as the bread is sweet, so may the experiences during the year to come be only the most pleasant. And I will leave that for now.